Hi everybody, welcome to Live at Lunch. We're here showcasing businesses that get an edge in the market through digital technology and digital innovation. I'm Adam, I'm a Managing Director at Tallan, and joining me today is Bill Packer. He's the Chief Operating Officer at American Financial Resources, or AFR. Bill, you've had quite a career in mortgage lending. I was hoping you could share a little bit about that story and how you ended up at AFR.
Sure. Thanks, Adam, and thanks for having me here today. It's nice to see you and have an opportunity to share some of my insights with you and those watching us today. So I've been in the mortgage industry almost my entire career, which spans something like 30 years. About half that time at mid-sized companies, so companies, think of them 200 to 1,000 employees, and about half of my career at the very largest institutions, places like Bank of America, for example, which was my most recent employer before coming into American Financial Resources. I actually retired from Bank of America. So I'm a Bank of America retiree. I spent 2 days in retirement, and then on Monday, after I retired on Friday, came to work at AFR first as our Chief Information Officer, and then recently promoted to the Chief Operating Officer role.
So across all those opportunities, where do you think you've had the chance to be the most innovative?
Yeah, it's a great question. So clearly for me, as I look back on my career, it is the mid-size space that has afforded me the most opportunity to be innovative and experimental. Financial services in general, and certainly mortgage banking in particular, is a highly regulated industry. And so in the very largest of institutions, there are many, I don't want to call them roadblocks, but there is a lot of resistance to new and different experimentation because of the regulatory oversight and internal audit controls and those kinds of things. As you get into the mid-size space, those barriers still exist, but you can have more forthright conversations with your regulators as well as your board, and you can agree to take some well thought out, careful steps into some innovative spaces. So for example, one of the things that Tallan helped us with was our Compare My Rate product. So coming out of the financial crisis, one of the laws that got put in place had a regulation in it that required all lending institutions that are lending on in the mortgage space to create this thing called a loan estimate. And it's so that the borrower could compare different offerings from different institutions. We collaborated with Tallan and said, this is an opportunity for us to take this form that folks may get 2 or 3 or 4 of these from different institutions, scan them, using OCR technology, extract important information, and then give the potential applicant a response back as to whether AFR, or our consumer division, which is eLend, whether AFR can meet or beat that offer, or if the offer they have in hand is better and they should proceed forward. And so that's a patent pending technology that we were able to experiment with, and I think we stood that project up in 7 or 8 months.
Yeah,
pretty quickly, yeah, and relatively inexpensively. I think for some other reasons we're going to get to later in the broadcast here, but that was an example of something that we were able to innovate very quickly, which would have been much tougher at a larger institution. But you can do it in a mid-sized space. Sat down with the CEO and our board and said, hey, this is something we want to do, and got the green light, got the funding, and away we went.